Hello, everybody.
Thank you so much, though.
To see what reality, is, and that it's all in the lead.
Eventually begins to attack your internal organs.
Yeah. Happy New Year. Happy New Year, everybody. The first show of 2023, the Night Brothers Intermittent Fasting Show. Welcome everybody to the show. What's going on, fellas?
What's going on? All right. Got a lot of
our audience is already showing us. Margaret Nick, welcome to the show. Iris Brown, welcome to the show. Erica Nadine, welcome to the show. Lakeisha Jones, welcome to the show. Mimi Lee, welcome to the show. And everybody, Cheryl Queen, welcome to the show. And everybody else who's jumped on board so far.
our number one stunner for 2023, no doubt. Margaret
My
Nick.
man C-Man is in the house. What's up, Carl C-Man Anderson and Kenny Adams in the house.
Peace and love.
What's up, K.A.?
Welcome, everybody.
Iris D. Brown up in the spot tonight.
Oh,
Yes.
Newtown 19.
No doubt. That's definitely Newtown 19. Represent. She said, oh my God, I finally found y'all.
Oh, man.
Erica Nadine. The beautiful
Hey,
Erica.
How you doing, honey?
Who else we got out there, Q?
We got Mimi, Sophia, Mimi Lee. What's going on, Mimi? How you doing, baby?
What's up, me?
Yep.
Miss Young. Peace and love, Queen.
Sophia always representing.
That's AG right there. Letitia Jones.
Yes, sir. Letitia Jones.
What's up,
Thank you,
Letitia? 2023, Erica. I hear you.
KA said 2023. We in there.
Yes, sir.
So glad we made it. So
Give
glad.
thanks and praises. Give thanks and praises.
No doubt. Yes, indeed. Let's do it.
Yeah, we got a lot to cover tonight, and we already late. I'm trying to give everybody a shout out on the screen, but Iris, you all right? She said she got to get it together. You all right, girl? Don't worry about it.
Iris looking fantastic. I don't think she got to get together because Iris is banging.
We're gonna get this cranky because we got a lot to cover tonight, y'all. So check it out. Happy New Year's from the Night Brothers Show. We do this every Tuesday night at 8 o'clock on Facebook Live. We give it up. We give it up. All right, already. I talk to the people for 2023, Arden. Talk to the folks, you know.
Hey, well, welcome to 2023 to the Night Brothers Intermittent Fasting Show, where healthy is the new sexy. And we're happy you made it, and I'm thankful you're here. So we're going to move it forward. Sincere.
All right, in the new year.
Hey, honey, I'm gonna give a quick shout out to Gregory Harris, who just checked in, to Cheryl Hunt, and to Darlene Collins, who just joined us. Welcome, guys.
Hey, if you just joined us, just type your name in the chat group so I can put you on the screen so the other folks know you're here as well. Darlene, Happy New Year. Cheryl Hunt, Happy New Year. Happy birthday to your mom. Yes, indeed. Beautiful, beautiful. Gregory Harris, what's up, my brother?
What's up, Gregory?
Yes, sir.
Peace.
All right, Q, it's on you. What you gonna do?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, tonight we have some lovely libations tonight. As always, we have the bartender has stuff on tap, and our first drink and first beverage of the night for the first tasty beverage, our socially speaking segment. And tonight, guys, we're gonna cover something that struck the nation, really. Not only the two teams that played last night, but struck the nation. And that's the horrific Monday Night Football injury that took place last night, which is just shook everybody. And we're going to go in depth in that, and we're going to discuss that. We want your feedback from that. The next tasty beverage number 2, is going to be our feature beverage, our feature coverage. Tonight, we're going to talk about blame it on the alcohol. And we're going to talk about, yes, alcohol and its effects on weight loss and its effects on your body overall. And we're going to break that down because the misconceptions about that. So we're going to go into that in depth. And then for the third tasty beverage tonight, the third one, the return of KBS Baby, Be a Better You. We're going to dabble into that tonight as well, guys. So stick around for the whole show. It's going to be hot. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be informative. It's going to be entertaining. Back to you, Lanny.
Rock it out. This is our legal disclaimer. All the videos, songs, music, images.
My bad, Arden.
Graphics used in this video belong to their respective owners, and I nor this channel do not claim rights over them. Copyright law disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976, and I promise I'll say it faster next time. My bad.
No, I'm just over here laughing. Look, y'all might not know why I'm laughing, but I'm controlling the techniques over here. I got 2 Rogers on the screen, no Pierre. Change screens by mistake. It's 2023. I ain't got my game yet.
Yes, sir. Screen, Lanny, screen.
All right. Anyway, I'm gonna go to my brother. Since I ain't put him on the screen, let me just go right to my brother right now. Where you at? Pierre?
Pierre, help us out, brother.
Turn your volume on, Pierre.
I just want, hey, what's up, everybody? I just want to say Happy New Year to you. Set some goals, and do your thing. This is a live chat, so you guys, you can type something in, and we will definitely try to get with you, and try to, answer your question in any kind of way, as you can, and but feel free anytime, go on and chat something in there and question or something, and we'll do our best to answer for you. All right, back to you, Lenny.
Awesome, Pierre. Awesome. Hey, just want to do a couple of shout-outs real fast. Happy New Year to you, Carl C-Man. Dietrich Henson, Arden, represent.
New Year. Peace
And,
Happy New Year, cousin.
How you doing, Dietrich?
Erica just said she's so happy her Zoom meetings will not supersede me being here on Tuesdays, Pierre. What you say about that?
Oh, peace, man.
I'm glad to
Erica, we love you. Thank you for that.
Amen.
So
So
we
look.
want to welcome Karen Beans and welcome Linda Tongue in the house, y'all. Linda Tongue is in.
Yeah.
All right, y'all. Look, last night on live TV, the world witnessed a horrific moment during the Buffalo Bills and Cincinnati Bengals game. We're speaking of 24-year-old Damar Hamlin, who's a defensive safety for the Buffalo Bills, collapsed on the field after making what appeared to be a routine tackle. The event sent shockwaves throughout the sports world, throughout most of the media. So tonight, we wanted to take a moment to, first of all, send our prayers out to the young man. Send his prayers out to his family, his teammates, all that were involved, the other team, and just the world in general, because you just don't know it about anything anymore these days. So we thought we'd take a moment and thank God that the brother's still with us. But we want to explore it. We want to talk about aspects of it, and with giving prayers and thoughts to his family. So just want to say that, and without further ado, we're going to check out the video, and then we're going to come back on the other side. And y'all can type in your thoughts and prayers in the chat group, and I will get them on the screen.
This morning with that terrifying moment involving Buffalo Bills safety Damar Hamlin. He collapsed on the field last night in a game against the Cincinnati Bengals, and players from both teams watched as he was given CPR. In a statement, the Bills say, quote, Damar Hamlin suffered a cardiac arrest following a hit in the Buffalo Bills game versus the Cincinnati Bengals. His heartbeat was restored on the field, and he was transferred to the University of Cincinnati Medical Center for further testing and treatment. He was currently sedated and listed in critical condition. Hamlin is just 24 years old. We're going to show you what happened, but I must warn you, it is difficult to watch.
I think people are well aware that we are finished watching football here tonight.
That stunning announcement came after a highly anticipated matchup between two teams vying for the top playoff seed in the AFC came to an abrupt halt Monday night.
Here's Higgins wide open.
9 minutes into the first quarter, Buffalo Bills safety Damar Hamlin tackled Bengals wide receiver T. Higgins. Hamlin got up after the hit, but then suddenly collapsed.
And that is Damar Hamlin.
Medical personnel quickly descended to administer CPR to Hamlin. The Bills said Hamlin went into cardiac arrest and his heartbeat was restored on the field. Players on both sides were visibly upset, some crying and others taking a knee to pray. Hamlin was then loaded into an ambulance on the field. His team knelt together in a circle as he was driven away. Hamlin is now at the University of Cincinnati Medical Center in critical condition.
It was so jarring.
Sam Farmer has been covering the NFL for 25 years.
It wasn't until you looked into the face of the players and saw their reaction did you realize that this was something extraordinary.
More than an hour after the injury, the NFL officially postponed the game. As fans filed out of the stadium, a group traveled to the hospital, lighting candles and praying together. Hamlin's injury follows other frightening scenes on the field this season that has put the NFL under scrutiny over player safety. Miami Dolphins quarterback Tua Tagovailoa sustained 3 blows to the head this season, resulting in at least 2 concussions. He returned to play in 2 of those games. While the NFL ruled concussion protocols were followed, the league did make amendments to its policies in October after his first 2 hits.
This highly unusual and probably unprecedented situation of suspending a game will be scrutinized in terms of could that have been done quicker? Should that have been done quicker? Should an hour have elapsed before that decision was announced?
All right, y'all, let's dive into that like we normally do on the other side. And before we do that, though, before we dive all the way into this, before we do that, look, fellas, let's just, even though, you know, the brother is still with us, let's just take 15 seconds of silence. And, you know what, let's take a minute of silence. And while we're doing that, I'm just going to put your prayers on the screen, and then we'll return after our silence where you can go ahead and pray in silence. All right, man. Shouts out to our audience. I mean, y'all always say we have the best audience on the internet, even though it's a small community. You know, we're not in the thousands. We have a loyal audience that's well tuned into situations that go on in and around the media. And I give y'all mad shout outs for just being who you are, because it helps us to be better of who we are. You know what I mean? And even all the way from New York to Guyana, we got people checking in, just registering and giving comments. So just thank y'all so much. Thank y'all so much. So look, it's not an easy story to dive into, but we have to, give our thoughts and help send up good vibrations, good spiritual prayers for the healing. And I think that the prayers of the many, Q, help me out, because I'm not the one to quote no religious or things from church, but prayers of the many do what?
Right. Fails much.
All right. So, but look, Damar Hamlin, we're going to ask a couple questions, and we want everybody to jump in. Q, I'll start with you as always. As far as the medical response, because if I'm not mistaken, he was out being administered CPR for 9 minutes. Is that correct? So what do you think of the medical response in the first few minutes of this situation?
Looking at it live, and I was watching the game with a bunch of friends last night. We were all watching the game together, 17 of us, as a matter of fact, my normal crew. And the response from all of us was, first of all, one of disbelief. We didn't understand what was going on, but we could see the seriousness of it when the player's reaction, number one. But if it were not for the medical response of those who were right on the scene, this young man would be gone right now. I have to give the medical staff who was in place there lots of credit. They performed CPR on him for over 9 minutes and even used a defibrillator to get him going again. It shows the seriousness of the situation. I spoke to a couple of friends, including Kenny Adams today, and a few others, and we were of the belief that he may have been gone actually on the field and brought back. Now, that has not been factually stated yet, but that may come out later on. But I give the medical staff kudos for the job they did last night in those initial minutes in hopefully saving this young man's life. No question about it.
Amen. I would have to agree with you. And the audience, you can chime in on that question too. What do you think of? And Iris says, she thought so as well, Q. That the medical response, and Margaret goes on to say the same thing, that the medical response helped sustain this young man, and hopefully it was enough that not only sustained him in life, but also, brain functionality and everything else. For being out for 9 minutes, you know what I mean? And we know God was in there, because he wouldn't even be here right now if God wasn't in there. So, Command Sergeant Major, I mean, you've seen some of the worst tragedies and atrocities that any man could ever stand to see as being in the military. Just the question to you is about the live coverage of the event while it was taking place in real time, and also just your overall thoughts of the situation, my brother.
Well, I think they took too long to cancel the game. Number one, game should have been canceled right away once they realized the seriousness of the young man's injury. Anytime you bringing a defibrillator out there, that's a serious injury. That means that individual's heart had completely stopped. And they worked on him for 9 minutes, but in the beginning, the defibrillator wasn't used. It was used on the tail end. And that's what started his heart to beat. I think when they see a player down like that, they need to come out initially
with everything.
Defibrillator. Everything, not you go get this, you go get that. We all know your brain will only last before it is damaged without oxygen from 3 to 6 minutes. That's it. This young man was on the field being recovered for 9 minutes. That's 3 minutes past the time of the max, which is 6 minutes. You know, I've been praying for him every night. I got him on our prayer list at church, and hopefully, just like Tua, this young man can make a full recovery and possibly, you know, play the sport that he loved, obviously, so much again.
Yeah, Roger, I'm gonna say something about your response to the NFL took too long to call the game, because I was actually in the study preparing for the show. I was putting this dialogue together for tonight's show, and my wife said, "Hey, come out here, check this out. Something happened in the game." And when I went out there, and I just kind of stopped and just kind of watched it for the rest of the, 50 minutes later, they still hadn't called the game, and I was like, the guy Booger McFarling, I think that's his name on the Monday Night Telecast. I think he was in studio artist, and he had the courage to say, "Look, the NFL needs to call this game. You know, TV, we'll find a way to fill the time, fill the commercials, get the money and all that, but they need to call this game." And I think he was absolutely on point. And I got to give him credit for have courage to say that, because he might not be working no more after that. But I give him credit for saying that, and I think you on point with that as well. I don't want to turn this into a criticism of something when the attention should be on the young man and his health and his return to health. But there are some situations that supersede money, and this was one of them to me. So,
Absolutely.
All right, coming your way. Just segue. What type of effect do you think it's going to have on the NFL going forward?
Well, the NFL has proved itself to be a business as usual type of entity. This is probably not the first kind of situation that, happened like this. I mean, to this degree maybe, but I mean, it's been people that have died on the field and before, but not before, well, not that he died, but the bottom line is that, and things kept on going, and it was business as usual till it really got proven, that there were certain situations that have occurred and do occur, whether that be a concussion situation, or just the fact that it's a different level of technology that you have, and if you invest this much money in people, it just seems. And it bewilders me, like Roger said, that when somebody's hurt, you don't come out with everything, especially when they fall out like that. We've seen people fall out and people just go down. And it's a different situation when somebody just falls flat out and they gone before they hit the ground. So something is really bad. And people need to be out there on them at that point in time. So I think that should change. The other thing is that it just is kind of crazy that at this day and age with the technology and just so much wearable tech that you have right now, from even your iPhone, your Fitbit, all of those things can monitor your heart rate. You would know instantly if somebody redlined. We're not getting a pulse on 25. We need to go see 25 because he took off his wristband that he doesn't supposed to take off during game time. I mean, it's so many different things that you could measure, and you could utilize technology to help people not have this situation. This is not the first time this type of situation has happened in sports. I can remember it's happened in college, in basketball, a couple of times. You know what I mean? It's just multiple sports people went into cardiac arrest for a number of reasons. So it's sad that in this day and age that more things aren't tracked.
I think that's a great point you're making, Arden, as far as technology and wearable technology to help measure all that. Yeah, you're right. Because I mean, dang, most of our watches can tell us our heart rate. You know what I mean? So you're right. They should have something for athletes in this day and age. Great
he
point,
hits
man.
the ground. Before he hits the ground, you should know he don't have no damn heartbeat.
Yeah.
Send everything, like Raj said. Send the, and for real, literally, let's be real. You talking how much people getting paid a year? I don't know if I was an owner personally, I wouldn't need a damn hospital. Because everything you need to revive somebody, straighten somebody out to somebody, and get somebody on to medical care or whatever else, I have it right there on the field to protect my investment, if no more. If you don't care about humanity, I would at least be trying to protect my investment. You know what I'm saying?
Yes. Listen, I do want to interject one thing because I want to clear up a misconception. Because I mean, if we're going to tell a story, let's tell the story correct. Actually, they did have those things there. They didn't have to go back and get a defibrillator. It was there with them. What they tried was they tried the old-fashioned way initially, and then went to the defibrillator. They couldn't get a response. It wasn't like they had to go back and get it and wasted more time. They just thought they could pound on his chest initially. It was there. It was there. So, I want to clear up that misconception that they didn't have their act together. They did. They just miscalculated. They thought maybe they could revive him in that way.
The defibrillator should have been the first call. Soon as you realized that young man didn't have a heartbeat, the defibrillator should have been
not to get into a debate with this, but they didn't know exactly what was going on at that very second. They had to assess the situation first of all, first and foremost.
The first thing you do is check for a pulse. That's the first thing you do. I've been in this situation several times. The first thing you do is check for a pulse and see if he breathes. If you don't have a defibrillator, you start the CPR. If you got the defibrillator, once I realize the individual don't have a heartbeat, that's the first thing I go to.
Well, I want to segue to Pierre because I think both of y'all make rational points in the spirit of what's in the best interest of the young man. You know what I mean? I think we all can agree on that part of it. So, but Pierre, these questions asked about, somebody that highly conditioned, some of the best trained athletes in the world, because NBA, Major League Baseball, NFL, on and on, some of the best conditioned athletes in the world, and they still can be subjected to major health issues. Can you talk about that a little bit? Because you worked with some world-class athletes in bodybuilding and things of that nature, and how, things could just be hidden. Can you speak to that?
Yeah, I mean, it's so many variables, with this situation, and I haven't really been following the news that much on this, to try to, but I was listening to one of the doctors today who was, she was just, speculating the wide range of things that could have happened, in that moment from, it could have been from the impact, it could have been from, clogged arteries, it could have been from some type of stroke. It could have been, so many different things. And so in that short period of time, it's almost impossible to do a full assessment of what happened at that particular moment to make him collapse like that. I'm just glad that, I think more along the lines, it seemed more to me like the way that one of the reasons why they called the games was because of the athletes were so concerned and they just didn't want to play. Who would want to play, when their teammate is, lying there, possibly dying? I don't understand why it took them so long to make that call, but I'm not up in that. But at the same time, I just think that, thank God that, he's still with us right now. But it's so many variables to be really, really interesting for them to hear what the final assessment of what possibly happened, so that we can work towards making sure that, these things don't happen to our athletes.
Amen. Amen.
I've worked with so many athletes before, and I think if you go back to high school, the situation that happened with Kevin Slade, I think he had a heart attack. I had a really close friend of mine that I was training with. I'm not going to say his name, but he actually had a heart attack while we were working out. And at one time he had dabbled a little bit of steroids. And you got to understand, I'm not saying this is this guy's case, because I have no clue at all, and it doesn't look like he's even taking anything like that. But I'm just saying that, some of these athletes have really been pushing themselves and taking all types of drugs and everything. And you got to understand that the heart is a muscle too. And it can grow and grow to a point where it can actually outgrow the rib cage. So anything, a hit like that or anything can rupture the heart and the aorta or anything like that. So there's so many variables. It's just I'm just waiting to hear the final situation, what happened, and hope that the NFL and all of us can learn from this, and try to prevent this from ever happening again.
Pierre, I think your last sentence was so spot on that hopefully the NFL and all of us can learn from this. It's a great statement, my brother. Great statement. I mean, I'm honored to have y'all on as a panel. I'll tell you, man, y'all are on point. Great thoughts all the way around. Turning heads, I did have a question for you because I know you are in the medical field. Now, if anybody else out there that's in the medical field, not that you played a nurse on TV last night. I'm talking about you really in the medical field. And you know something about these things, because she's made a statement of compression, defibrillated CPR, one of those orders she put. Let me see back. I go back and find the statement. But it was just for those that know, and the reason why I'm asking that, or she said, hold on, let me hear this statement. Let me make sure I get it up here. The reason why I'm saying that, because any one of us could be faced with that situation tomorrow. So, Turner Heads, could you put that comment up again? Because you don't know where you might be. I remember I was in a rest stop one time going to the Jersey Turnpike. A man fell down in front of me, just in the line. Just fell down, just passed the hell out. Similar to that situation. And people were standing around, and nobody do nothing. I was like, hold on. You know what I mean? So I went over and tried to help the guy, and he was okay. He was cognizant, and so I just grabbed the water off the shelf. I didn't care if I paid for it or not, and just gave the man something. Because at that moment, you know, humanity's supposed to kick in, and that's the point that I was so pleased about everything and the responses that humanity of another life. And good Lord, if we treated all life like this, like in the cities of Chicago, where there's violence and all over the place, all over the world, man, wouldn't the world be such a better place for us? If the sacrament of life was just important in all situations, you know what I mean? I just think that would be just a blessing, you know what I mean?
Very well put. That's a powerful statement right there, Lenny. I don't know if it's required for the NFL, but I think every player, every person should make sure that they take some type of CPR, classes, because you never know. If somebody might be with your girlfriend, or something, and something happens, and she pass out, what you gonna do? Wait to call 911, she'd be gone. I think that more people need to, take CPR, and to know exactly what to do. And, there are laws that protect you, Good Samaritan laws and things like that actually protect you if you make a mistake. But I'd rather for you to try than to do nothing.
Amen.
So I think that we all, this is something that we all should know, not just in the NFL, not just in if you're taking on any type of sport activity, I think that all the kids, everybody should at least be introduced to it and know what to do and how quick, because quick response is everything. 1 minute, the brain's done.
Amen, my brother. Now, Turner Heads did put a comment up there. She said, if no pulse, always start compression first, then goal is to get the blood pumping. So to get
Turning
things.
Heads, could you come on one day and share some information in reference to that with us?
Hey, I'm sure Turning Heads. I'm sure we can get a Q. Can you you make some phone calls, Q, and get that hooked up?
I got ready. Matter of fact, I hit up earlier today, so I'll get hold of it. No, not a problem.
Please.
Okay, cool. I mean, just a segment on that. You know what I mean? First aid situations is something that Pierre was expounding upon, and it's so true. And Cheryl, you're right. It would be a better place if we just, partially loved up on each other a little bit more than we're doing now. You know what I'm saying? That's why I love this audience. But anyway, look. We could be on this one all night. I knew the segment was gonna run a little longer than normal, but it was warranted. So, but look, we're gonna go into our feature segment. Thank y'all for chiming in.
Thank everybody for the comments. Beautiful. That audience is great.
So we're gonna go from there to alcohol, Q. You know what I mean? So that's a hell of a segue.
Serious swing.
But look, we're gonna bring my boy up, Dr. Berg, Command Sergeant Major.
Sergeant Major's boy.
Dr. Berg, how much will alcohol? Look, the reason why we're bringing this up, because some of us had success with intermittent fasting, some of us had success with our diets and things of that nature. But there's a couple facts that will definitely stop and stunt your success. And alcohol is something that I dove into deeply over the last couple months, not in a drinking capacity, but in the studying capacity.
Oh, you sure?
And we just really want to talk about the effects of alcohol on your system if you're trying to actually, have some health goals that you want to go somewhere. It's definitely a big deal. So let's look at the video and then we come and talk about it. How about let's just do that? Okay.
Let's do that.
Dr. Berg, Command Sergeant Major, this is your favorite dude right here.
Answer the question: how much alcohol will influence not just your weight loss, but your ability to stay in ketosis? All right, so we have ethanol, pure alcohol.
A little more.
Has 7 calories per gram. Now, a carbohydrate has only 4 calories per gram, and that will block your weight loss, and that will block your ketosis. But this has more calories. But ethanol does not spike your insulin directly. And we know insulin is affected by carbohydrates, and insulin blocks weight loss. We also know that ethanol is not stored in the body like glucose is. So all the ethanol in the body has to be removed from enzymes made by your liver. So if we're just looking at this information, you may think that it doesn't affect your weight loss because it's not going to stimulate insulin. And your body's just going to clean it up and you'll be fine. But here's the problem. Ethanol is highly oxidative, which means it creates a lot of stress in the liver. Your body considers it a toxin. And so all that oxidative stress eventually causes inflammation and eventually can lead to cirrhosis, which is scar tissue, and a fatty liver, okay? And they actually have a condition, a fatty liver condition, which is caused by alcohol. But here's the big thing. Ethanol blocks fat burning. It takes priority over the metabolism of fat. So if there's alcohol in your body is going to stop burning the fat, and it's going to focus on this danger situation and try to get rid of it through the use of enzymes. So all your metabolism is going to be focused on getting rid of that alcohol, not burning fat. So depending on how much alcohol you drink, it can literally block fat burning for a day, 2 days, even 3 or 4 days. Most alcohol has added carbohydrates. Most people don't just drink pure ethanol. They drink beer, wine, other types of alcohol with a lot of sugar in it. Now, if you research the recommendation for drinking alcohol and all the benefits of drinking alcohol, our government will tell you to drink 2 drinks per day if you're a man, 1 drink a day if you're a woman, and they will tell you that you will actually benefit the cardiovascular system, right? Now, recently there's been a new recommendation based on another look at some of the studies that are already out there, and they found that the benefits from alcohol actually are not there. In fact, it will increase your risk of death. And this happens so many times with so many different products. They constantly switch the recommendations. Before, the trans fats were good, now they're bad. Before, sugar was good, now it's bad. And now they're telling us that alcohol is bad. Well, how did it even become good in the first place? But if you're interested in more information, I put a link down below. But you probably already know what I'm going to talk about, and that is the influence of the alcohol industry over government research, okay? Now, when you see government research, okay, realize that it's not as independent as you might think. They usually partner with someone who is helping funding the research, and they actually partner with the actual industry that's related to that research. The whole point of this video is just to let people know there's no health benefits from ethanol. So just don't be surprised if you don't experience the full benefits of ketosis. So if you're going to drink, don't do it frequently. Don't be surprised if it slows down your progress. Do things to make up the damage. I have a video on that below. You can check it out. If we compare the alcohol with the added carbs, I would consume alcohol without the added carbs, and you'd be much better, especially if you're not going to overdo it. All right, guys. Thanks for watching.
All right, that's my man, Dr. Berg. Dr. Berg. Dr. Berg is a beast, man. I enjoy Dr. Berg. He really knows what he's talking about. And Roger, before we go too deep into this, because I know that's your boy. Before we go too, what you call him? Dude with skinny body, skinny body with the big head, Dr. Berg.
He's a happy guy.
Anyway, he is a happy dude. Anyway, Roger, go ahead and break it down before we start talking too much.
Woo! Dr. Bird is something else, boy, I tell you. We are not physicians. This show is not providing medical advice for any elements or medical condition. If you have a medical condition, we strongly suggest you seek the advice of a professional healthcare provider prior to attempting any information shown on this broadcast. Back to Lenny.
All right, well, look, it's back to me momentarily, but we're going to come right back to you, Roger, because you first up at bat. But I do want to get a couple comments on the screen before we dive too deep into this. Cheryl said, I needed to hear this. Me too. I needed to hear this again because I knew that alcohol jumps. Well, I'm not even going to get ahead of myself. I'll let y'all do the talk. But anyway, Erica Nadine said, alcohol's a beast. Yes, it is. And our good friend Vonda said, well, damn, now y'all tell me a little too late for that. She had a blowout of a weekend. So anyway, Roger, Kenny said, look, I'm going to be popping bottle. But that's our boy. So, Roger, let's start off with you, brother. Ethanol, talk about that for me.
Ethanol, which is nobody drinks straight ethanol like my man just said. But ethanol is a major product of alcohol and has 7 calories per gram. 3 more calories per gram than carbs. And I know some people think that's not bad, but we will get more into that later on. Ethanol does not directly spike your insulin, but it does indirectly in a bad way. And that's the reason why, as we go on, because I don't want to step on nobody's toes, we got everything's coming up. Ethanol is not stored in the body like carbs and fat, so how could it hurt your weight loss? But this is so wrong. It hurts your weight loss because the alcohol is treated like a toxin in your body. And somebody else gonna cover that part. So I don't want to get too deep in it because I could go way down. And how does your favorite drinker player? We're gonna look at some of that. And it causes stress on your liver. Alcohol causes stress on your liver. So these are how your drinks compare if you look at it. The bad thing about carbs is a double hit. I mean beer. Because beer has a lot of carbs in it and it got that alcohol. So that's a double hit. That's
why they call it the beer belly. That's why they call it that, brother.
Yes, Lord. And we know, just like my cousin Pierre has said several times, in that beer belly, that's where all your stuff's sitting at. Your diabetes and all other medical problems because of that beer belly. That storage of that unnecessary fat. Anyway. So I hope you got a chance to look at that because Lenny don't got rid of it, but. I'm
gonna go back to it one more time. Hold on, Rod. Let me go back to it one more time. Let me go back to it one more time, Rod. There you go, Rod. There you go, Rod.
I want to elaborate on. I just want the folk to get a chance to see it. Okay. And just remember, as I said before, the things that I touched on will be elaborated deeper as we go on. So that's why I didn't do nothing but crease the surface. But this,
hey, God, could you talk a little bit about the wine, though? Could you say something about the wine at least?
The what?
About the wine.
Wine. Can you mention that at least?
The wine.
The third one. The 5 ounces of table wine got 12%.
Yeah, they had said before the riboflavin in red wine was good for you. But you know how much red wine you got to drink before you get that benefit? You like 4 bottles. And the thing about wine is alcohol percentage by volume. So you have to drink a whole bottle to get like 10% alcohol. But the bottom line up front, regardless of what are you drinking, wine or cognac, you know we like that yak, black folks. You know, whatever you're drinking, your liver is being stressed and your body is treating, even if it's 1 ounce of alcohol, like a toxin. Now I'm gonna have to get off this page because other people are going to do.
No doubt, but good look. A couple comments real fast. Erica says alcohol has always been bad, but it's my money. And I'm gonna throw it up there. I ain't lying. That's what she said right there. Margaret Nick said, alcohol affected my diabetes, so I stopped drinking. Great job. Margaret, you know, quiet as is kept. I've really been lightly drinking over the last month, and I'm trying to work my way to that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, don't drink at all during the week. Maybe do something on the weekend, but I'm even trying to work on that because the study is just, you know, I can't. Erica says it's a legal killer.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Right.
Yeah. So anyway, look, we're not here to preach to you about this. We're just saying if you're gonna do something, do it in moderation after you learn these facts. Anyway, Q, help us out. Help us out, brother. Let's talk to him. What you got up?
Yes, sir. You know, alcohol is highly, and it causes a stress to the liver in the following way. You know, alcohol has to be filtered out, and it's removed to your body through your liver, and that can cause substantial damage to you in the future as it is filtered out. Your liver is your power source. It helps you to digest your food. It turns it into energy by converting proteins and carbohydrates and fats and vitamins into energy. The liver ensures that the body has what it needs to keep going. Your liver is your engine. It drives most of your body's critical systems, and when it breaks down, your body will too. And that's why filtering that alcohol out through your liver is such a problem for most people. Let's go to the next one. Wow, this one is powerful right here. Did you know that alcohol is treated like a poisonous substance or a toxin within the body? And Command Sergeant Major touched on this a little bit. He didn't go in depth in it because he didn't want to step on other people's parts in this program. But alcohol is a poison. And I personally know of people who have suffered from alcohol poisoning. I know people who have died from it. I know someone who was near death from alcohol poisoning. And so it is, the body and alcohol really do not belong together, for what we can understand here. That's not what should be put in your body on a consistent basis. Now, like Lenny just said, the key word is moderation there, okay? It impacts the following organs: your brain, your heart, your esophagus, your liver, your stomach, even your pancreas. So it's working it affects all kinds of organs.
Kim said, not the wine. Please, no, not the wine. Hey, look, Kim.
Up on the wine.
This is an educational show tonight. What we're trying to do is to just fill you with information because we eat bad things as well. But alcohol is bad for us. We're just trying to give you some information to guard yourself so you can think about what you're doing. Not saying that you're gonna quit overnight, but we just want to give you some information. So you good? You're good. Okay. Carry on.
And once again, you made the emphasis, the point, and Command Sergeant Major said the same thing. Moderation is going to be the key here. But did you know the stresses of alcohol in your body causes inflammation that can lead to cirrhosis and a fatty liver? Now, some of you may have heard those terms and not really understand what they are. The picture to your far left is what a healthy liver looks like. When you begin to have a fatty liver, which can be caused by inflammation and alcohol, your liver looks like the picture in the middle. When you begin to have cirrhosis, look how beat up and roughed up your liver is to your far right. Yep. Your liver it won't really function the way it should. It won't filter out things the way it should when you have cirrhosis and suffering from a fatty liver. So that's just some of the effects that alcohol will have on you. Arden, we want to kick it over to you, and I want you to talk about some more things that alcohol does.
I believe Vonda asked how does this affect me? I'm at the how does it affect you on your weight loss? This is my part. And I'm glad you asked that question because I'm sure a lot of other people had that question also. And I never thought of it like this either. But how it affects you is the fact that it's the first thing burned. And it's funny, I never kind of thought about this. If there's alcohol in your body that completely stops you from fat burning. It switches the focus on a dangerous substance. It's a toxin. So the first thing is to get the alcohol out your body. That's your body's focus at that point in time. So you are basically gonna run yourself on alcohol. That's what's happening. Depending on how much you drink, it could take anywhere from a day to 4 days to turn off the alcohol burning. And that's if you don't keep drinking. Unless you exercise like crazy. But if you exercise like crazy and you keep drinking, you're still gonna be like on a treadmill, going nowhere. So it's really important that you kind of understand that you can have a good time, and that's what we want you to understand. Just because sometimes people feel like I'm doing everything, and this ain't working, and this ain't working, and that ain't working. All I'm saying is that if you drinking every day, then if you what's that say? 1 ale, medium strength. You gotta go golf for 30 minutes, but that's only gonna burn that off. To burn anything else extra, you got to do more than that 30 minutes. 20-minute walk with white wine. Come on, man. 12-minute, white wine, 12-minute jog. Low impact, 23 minutes. You got 23 minutes of drink in them, huh? How many rounds we want to go, baby? You know what I'm saying? You want to go 3 rounds, we doing 60 minutes, 69 minutes.
Oh, boy.
You know what I'm saying? Look, let's count the rounds and it's time to get down. I want y'all to take a screenshot of this. Go out to the club and hit me up and say how this is going to affect you. But why it's so bad, this adverse residual effects. If it takes 1 to 2 days, you still eating and you still drink again. This cycle continues over and over and over and over again. Similar to you never fast. I mean, even if you do fast, you'll never reach baseline because you can't get past the point of how much alcohol you take in. If you take in, a considerable amount of alcohol. So remember, most alcohol is consumed, guess what? Command Sergeant Major said it, with sugar, with carbs. You get rum and coke, gin and juice, plus the snacks.
Damn, you preaching, boy, you preaching.
Stuff like that with salt on them because that's going to make you thirsty, and then you keep drinking again. And then you usually get bad food with like bar food. You know what I'm saying? And I always say, man, you need to up it. You make some high level, send me some good food out, man. I'm drinking over here, baby. But no, they send you pizza, hot wings, a bunch of hot sauce.
Peanuts.
You know what I mean? Sodium, peanuts, crackers, cookies. So the bottom line is that you're drinking and then you're eating a bunch of bad stuff that's just going to get stacked on as fat. Because you have to burn.
And look, that was a phenomenal breakdown that you just did, man. Just off the hook, funny, but on point, man. I mean, you're giving factual information and about eating and things like that. Alcohol lower your inhibitions, so you make bad decisions when, or you make decisions that you would otherwise wouldn't make when you drink. Shit, that chips be all right. I'll be all right, Pierre. You know what I mean? And I mean, you just do. So great information. I'm going to kick it over to Pierre, though, to keep it going, Pierre, about the last aspects of this alcohol situation. So, brother, can you jump in and tell us what's going on with this?
Yeah, so the government recommended guidelines for responsible drinking could vary as shows. So I guess it's like, what is considered low risk drinking. National Institute of Alcohol Abuse or Alcoholism, daily, no more than 3 drinks for a woman, 4 drinks 4 drinks for men. This is daily now.
Wow.
Yeah.
Weekly, no more than 7 for women, and so that's like a glass of wine every day, and for men, good God, too. They recommending this. Oh my God! And you know what? And to make it even worse, look how much we pay for these drinks. We're paying the fortune ourselves.
Yeah. You right.
Who you think is benefiting from that, Pierre? I mean, you can see who's benefiting from that then.
Yes, absolutely. And you keep. I remember this. My father was one of the first black doctors in the Air Force. In one of those Tuskegee programs, and he was a psychologist, and for 7 years he spent time in Japan. But when he came back home, one of the things that he said to me, and I will never forget this. He said, the body was not meant to ingest alcohol. It is a poison to your system. So he was telling me that while he was drinking. And then he said, don't do as I do.
Do as I say.
He said, so, oh my God, that's funny.
But I understand, because ain't like anybody on here gonna stop, and not drink, ever again.
But we do gotta give shout outs to some people, Pierre, because both Danny Nutter said he ain't had a drink this year, and then Cheryl said she ain't drank nothing since last year. That's what Cheryl said. So I want to give mad shout outs to Danny Nutter and Cheryl Queen that said she ain't had a drink since last year. Mad shout outs to them.
Some love, y'all. It's been a whole year.
Oh my God.
Keep that
Shout out. Good job.
On the serious side, you gotta also think about this. On the serious side of this, we have to really, pay attention to what's going on and what we're doing to ourselves and to our body. When I was with my trainer, the first thing that he told me, he said, alcohol eats muscle. So for me, that was enough, because I'm in here busting my butt trying to build this body and do all this, and I'm gonna turn around and destroy it just because I want to have a drink. And the thing about it is, each and every one of us knows somebody in our family that has been, our family has heavily been affected, by alcohol. I can pretty much tell you almost all of my people, my family members are not here, and alcohol was a contributing factor to it. So to take this a little bit to the next level of seriousness, I decided that my family did more than enough drinking for me for 10 lifetimes.
I hear you, buddy.
I can't say that I won't have a glass of sangria every now and then or something like that. But for the most part, I can go months without having a drink at all, because I understand that I'm trying to build my body. I'm trying to take care of myself. I'm trying to take care of the temple, that God has given us. And I know that, sometimes we got to do some things to take the edge off. I get that. At the same time, you really want to be doing your own research to really find out the true deal about this alcohol thing, and like my brothers were saying, in moderation. Hey, but again, at the same time, you got to understand that you're poisoning your body.
So look, Keith got a question. So he wanted to know, is smoking the THC better than? I'm gonna say yeah. I mean, look, I ain't gonna shun that.
Edible,
you know what I mean?
Edible, even something you take the edge off. Shit, I hit an edible every now and then.
Yeah. Hey, look,
probably better than alcohol.
We're being transparent and keeping it real on the show.
That's right.
But we're just saying, look, moderation. It definitely can mess your kidneys up. Can definitely mess up your liver. And then that, like my brother Q said, that goes into other organs. The liver is one of the largest organs in your body. And if it's not functioning well, you're going to feel it. You know what I mean? And, just for those reasons alone, as well as, we're talking about weight and other things. And Erica Nadine says you can tell, too, because some people look beat up. You know what I mean? And I can attest to that sometimes when I remove alcohol because I go on these little binges of removing alcohol for a week or two at a time, I could feel the youthiness, kind of being restored. You know what I mean? Especially ladies in your skin. You see somebody walking down the street that you came out of high school with, and you look at them and you be like, you might not have seen them in a while. You be like, she's like, you don't know me? Like, yeah. You be wondering in your mind. Then they say, girl, that's so-and-so. You be like in your mind, damn. You know what I mean? I'm just keeping it real because you be like, they need to leave that alone. You know what I mean? Because, but it's real.
It can make your skin look leathery. You can get jaundice. On top of it, if you Google, I can pretty much tell you, if you Google a liver transplant, you're probably talking about a million plus.
Yep. So look, we're gonna keep it moving, y'all. Public service announcement real fast, and then we're gonna go into our closing area of the show tonight. Thank you, Linda Tong. But look, tonight we're going to talk about bring back Linda Tong's favorite, Be a Better You, Baby. This is dedicated for you, Linda Tong, since you got the shirt to prove it. So we're going to talk about supplements and the benefits of echinacea. We're going to hit them real fast because echinacea is another powerhouse supplement. And we want to leave y'all with something every week just for a short tidbit about how you can do something to help yourself and not just give you information. You could just go buy this in liquid or pill form. So let's talk about echinacea. Let's go into echinacea, baby! Benefits of echinacea. Why don't you talk about them, Pierre and Q?
I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna defer to Pierre on this because I'm gonna be straight up honest. I'm not even familiar with it.
Okay, well you can learn then.
I want to learn like everyone else. I want to learn.
I am very familiar with echinacea. Echinacea, I've always used it as it's a blood purifier. It will help to alkalize your body. I never use it by itself. I always use it in conjunction with Golden Seal.
Yes.
Get them both together, echinacea and Golden Seal. If I get like if a cold or something coming on, I can pretty much tell you, if you do echinacea and Golden Seal, it will lessen the time. If you're talking about maybe 1 to 3 days, you will actually start feeling better right away. You can also make it as a tea. It comes in herbs. I can pretty much tell you that this is all I use in my house. If somebody in my house gets sick or cold or something like that, I get the echinacea and the Golden Seal out combined, and it's really, really helpful. So the health benefits, it helps to prevent bacteria and viral infections, which is definitely true. Because see, the thing about Golden Seal is like a natural antibiotic, and you're not going to find this stuff. A lot of times the medical community don't know much about herbs, but I bought this book back in the day called Back to Eden, and they have everything it tells you in that book.
Yes, indeed.
Would you suggest in the powder form? Yeah, would you suggest in the powder form or pill form?
Capsule.
Capsule? Okay.
Yeah, and you can, I used to be able to at Sun and Earth, used to be able to buy echinacea and Golden Seal both in bulk, and I used to make my own capsules. It was way cheaper, and the quality was way better.
Okay.
It also boosts your immunity, to help prevent cancer. The benefit is reducing inflammation, helps keeps teeth healthy, and strong. It protects, against ear infections. Lenny wiped me out. I didn't get the last one.
Oh, I'm sorry about that, Pierre. Let me see if I can get it back up on the screen real fast. Ear infection, AIDS, and psoriasis and eczema. So your skin.
Okay.
Yes. So not only is it going to help you, to purify your blood and to help to boost your immunity, and and you're looking at all these other things that it does too. So I advise people to to start looking more towards homeopathic, and herbs make that be your first route before you sometimes go to the doctor and ask for all types of medicines. Echinacea is very, very powerful. You can't go wrong with it. It has no side effects. at all. It just has nothing but benefits.
Yep.
That's the first time I've heard of that. That's great.
And you can get it in most health food stores or your herbal sections of your grocery stores, that type of stuff. And I use it every morning, particularly in the winter, like P.S. said, for Golden Seal, because it helps rid you of colds and things of that nature. We all know this virus thing that's going on that's been happening the last couple of years. This is a good combatant of viruses. So, I mean, just take a pill, or you can take it in liquid form, take it in the morning, and you can be good. You can be good with it.
Tell you, if you take one capsule of Echinacea Golden Seal every single day, you probably will never get a cold, because the bug does not like neither one of those things in your system. It just don't live long. It just doesn't like it. It just doesn't. Now, as a matter of fact, if you Golden Seal, I'm telling you, Golden Seal is nasty. If you take it by itself, it don't taste good at all. That's why it's best to put it in the capsule. And sometimes I'll make a tea out of it and try to do whatever I can to make it so my daughter or my grandson can get it down.
Absolutely.
Make the best stuff in the world, but if it's nasty to you, the bug don't like it neither. That's how I look at it.
Absolutely. Hey, but look, y'all, we're gonna get on up out of here tonight. But I just did want y'all to let y'all know that we do have the Nice Brothers Cruise that's gonna be taking place September 24th through October the 1st. So look, you can get your information by reaching out to Carnival Cruise Lines. They have suites right now. I mean, they have inside cabins for $4.99 a person, an ocean view for $7.19, or a balcony for $7.94. Now, we're telling you this now because, prices change on things. So we don't want you to miss out on the prices that Q was able to negotiate with our Carnival Cruise representative. And his name is Todd. Todd, you can reach Todd 800-819-3902, extension 8526. Just call him up and say, hey, look, what's up with that Night Brothers Cruise? I heard something going on down in Miami with the Night Brothers situation, and I want to be part of that. So you can just jump on in, and they'll get you out there and, make sure that you can get on the cruise with everybody else. So, like I said, it's affordable. Q, you want to say a little bit about if somebody spends some money now, they're able to, put your money down and make a plan, and that way it's easier for them to pay for it over a period of time. What'd you say about that, brother?
Yes, for those who are very interested in going, we can call Todd at the phone number listed and the extension listed, and just put down a deposit to hold your spot. Not only to hold your spot, but to hold your price point, more importantly. Because with the fuel costs and things going up right now, the odds are the cost of the cruise may increase as well. So why not lock in your cost now where it is and give yourself 6 months, 6.5 months to pay it off, maybe $100 every month or whatever the case may be. And we're going to have a great time, guys. Look forward to cruising with you guys. Man, we're going to do it big time. Want to see you there with us.
Amen, my brother. Amen. So y'all check that out. But look, Happy New Year's, family. Thank y'all for joining tonight. Another fantastic show. I need to get P up on the screen. I'm working on that. There you go, right there. The man in the middle. Happy New Year to y'all. Thank y'all for enduring us tonight. I know the show was a little long, but we definitely ran over time. But we started late. So questions though, real fast. Linda, I want to know, what are you drinking, Quavy?
Water.
Okay.
Water.
All right.
I don't drink, Linda. I don't drink at all.
Awesome, my brother. And I'm trying to work my way to that. I don't know, I ain't gonna claim that all the way because it be calling me, baby. It be calling me. Anyway, good night. Arden, what's your closing comments for the folks, brother?
Hey, peace and love, man. Happy New Year. Have a beautiful New Year. Indeed, and everything in moderation, but understand the situation. So we just wanted to give you a little insight in reference to it because it was surprising to us also.
All right,
So,
all right.
yeah.
Roger, Command Sergeant Major, lead the people with something, man.
Hey, family, thank y'all for showing up. We appreciate y'all. And we do this because we want you guys to be around for all the upcoming events that we're having, like the cruise and the cookout. So make sure you take this advice and run with it. Love you all. Thanks for coming up.
All right, Q, we're gonna let you close the show tonight. And what's your?
I'm just gonna give it to Pierre, man. Pierre, I said what I had to say. Pierre, get your word in, and that'll wrap it up.
Well, you know what? I mean, I think I said quite a bit tonight. I hope I didn't make nobody mad at me. You know, but you know me, I'm gonna tell the truth. You know, because you know I love you guys, and I want to make sure that you know you guys are around. You know, so that we all can enjoy your company as much as you enjoy ours. Happy New Year to everybody, and you know, again, you know, take care of yourself. Do your due diligence and do your research. Do your research. You know. There's a lot of herbs and things out here that can help you. You know, you don't always have to go the conventional way. You know, I don't deal too much with that, and I do my due diligence. And you gotta understand, hey, look, the truth is, you know, the internet is out here. You can learn anything.
Vonda, the book is named Back to Eden. It's a real thick book right here that I got. Maybe we'll talk a little bit more about it next week, but it's called Back to Eden. And it's sold over 5 million copies. So how about that? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
that's a good book there.
It's a Bible of all.
Health is a good book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So look, y'all. Good night. Thank y'all very much.
Peace.
We'll see y'all next week. Thank y'all for hanging so much tonight. It was a wonderful show. Amen. All right.